A single woke scene can have a huge impact on a movie's reputation. These are the 8 superhero movies and shows that went woke and paid the price for it. Starting with The Marvels from 2023. It looked like The Marvels was shaping up to be another big hit in the Marvel lineup, since early buzz highlighted its fun team-up vibe with characters like Carol Danvers flying around with Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan, pulling in crowds who love seeing powerful heroes saving the day together while building on stories from earlier films that had everyone excited about more cosmic adventures. At first, fans noticed right away. The trailers got millions of views online and made people talk about how this movie could bring new life to superhero films with new heroes taking the lead. As a result, it quickly became a must-watch, promising lots of flying action and touching moments between the main characters. But as the release day came closer, more people started talking about how the movie focused a lot on diversity. Even though the story was about 3 women of color working together with themes of strength and teamwork, some viewers felt it went too far with the social messages, saying it started to feel more like a lesson about girl power than an exciting space adventure. And just like that, during opening weekend, social media blew up when critics and fans started calling out how the film sidelined real character growth for endless nods to representation, leaving many wondering if the creators cared more about checking boxes than crafting a solid tale. But this wasn't the only time people questioned the movie's choices. In some scenes where the heroes talked about who they were and shared their stories, it felt like the movie was trying too hard to show inclusivity instead of letting it happen naturally through good storytelling.
My grandma sent it to me in the mail. Have you ever wanted something so bad, and it actually happened? But it's not as great as you imagined it.
The audience didn't like this approach from the production team, and this is where things took a turn. Then, one weekend, the box office numbers hit like a punch. It opened with only $47 million in the US, even though it cost over $200 million to make. Soon, the excitement was gone, and what was meant to be a big hit turned into a money loss, showing how risky it can be to focus too much on woke ideas. That moment sealed it. Fans had finally had enough of that approach. One fan even commented, "This movie screams woke agenda, no wonder it bombed like a lid balloon." But it wasn't the only one. There were more. As a result, forums filled with complaints, and the movie's Rotten Tomatoes critic score dropped to 63%, while fans gave it 84%. A weird split that showed how divided people were. In the end, it earned only $206 million worldwide, making it Marvel's lowest grossing film ever, and sparking talks that people were simply tired of superhero movies filled with too much messaging. As the Marvels fell apart for pushing its over-the-top empowerment message, people quickly turned their eyes to another film that went even further. Released in 2020, Birds of Prey surprised everyone by turning its whole story into a bold feminist breakout. Harley Quinn breaks free from her toxic past and gathers a group of tough women to take down villains in colorful, chaotic fashion. At first, this idea looked golden.
Joker and I broke up. I wanted a fresh start. But it turns out I wasn't the only dame in Gotham looking for emancipation.
The trailers showed explosive fights and quirky humor, and fans got excited thinking it would be a fun, empowering twist on the darker DC world. As a result, critics praised its bright style and strong cast, making it stand out among the usual superhero films. However, once it hit theaters though, things changed. Viewers started calling out how hard the movie pushed its feminist themes. The story mainly focused on women breaking free from male control, and Harley led the team in a way that some felt directly attacked older movies.
They should be scared of. Not you, not Mr. J.
Debates broke out about whether the film had gone too far, focusing more on empowerment messages than actual storytelling. Many said the fast-paced energy covered up a weak plot and flat characters. Some still praised it for showing real representation, but even that praise couldn't stop the growing backlash. Then came the numbers, and they hit hard. Birds of Prey opened with just $33 million against an $84 million budget.
You want me? I'm all you.
Overnight, it went from a hopeful hit to a major box office flop, showing how risky it can be to rely too much on feminist framing. Support started to fade, and the negativity piled up fast. While Birds of Prey struggled with its heavy girl power tone, the spotlight soon shifted to another DC sequel that took things even further, Wonder Woman 1984. Released in 2020, it surprised viewers by focusing on big lessons about greed, honesty, and dreams. Set in the flashy 80s, it looked at first like a colorful adventure, packed with big rescues, heartfelt moments, and nostalgic heroism. The teasers showed stunning visuals and the return of familiar faces, reminding fans of how strong the first movie had been. As a result, it became one of the most anticipated DC releases, praised for its bold time period and focus on purity and truth. A clear contrast to the darker tone of other superhero films. The marketing kept things light, showing off the action and visuals without hinting too much at the deeper moral themes underneath. But once people started watching, the tone sparked debate. Many noticed how strongly the movie pushed its messages about moral purity and honesty. Diana was shown as almost too perfect, a symbol of flawless virtue that some felt came off as preachy. Fans began saying that the film had traded the gritty emotion of the first movie for soft, idealistic lectures about society. Around the holidays, when it premiered, social media filled with mixed reactions. Some viewers complained that the movie focused more on lessons than action, losing the excitement that made the original so powerful. Even though some defended it for portraying real heroism, others just wanted a fun superhero story, not a moral lesson, and so the growing backlash couldn't be ignored. Then came the ratings. The movie got only 5.3 in IMDb, which was below average. At that moment, the team realized the movie had missed the mark. What started as a hopeful sequel turned into a box office disappointment, showing how easily big ideas can sink when they're handled too idealistically. But while Wonder Woman 1984 struggled with too many morals, this new series went even further by openly making fun of sexism in courts and online, surprising everyone when She-Hulk Attorney at Law came out in 2022. The plot showed Jennifer Walters trying to balance her job as a lawyer and her big green powers, mixing jokes and action in a funny way that caught people's attention right away with its humor in scenes where she talks straight to the camera.
Don't do it.
At first, the idea looked perfect because trailers showed smart jokes about superhero life that made fans laugh, quickly building a small group of viewers who loved her mix of brains and strength in daily life. Soon, it grew as a fresh Marvel show, getting praise for its humor and diverse cast that made it stand out from other serious action shows. Up until its release, the marketing didn't focus much on the feminist side, hiding it under the fun tone until the episode started. Yes. But once people began watching, things got heated because the story talked a lot about unfair treatment at work and online hate. Some thought it was trying too hard to send a message instead of just being fun, saying the jokes turned into lectures. And suddenly, when the first episodes dropped, social media filled with complaints that it cared more about gender talk than about character stories. Still, that wasn't the only issue, since parts showing online hate were called too much agenda, even though other fans said it was smart writing. But that didn't stop doubts from growing, and the hype slowly faded. Then, not long after, viewership dropped below Disney Plus expectations, and that's when the team realized they had messed up. The show that was meant to be funny and fresh ended up as a review-bombed mess, showing how risky it can be when satire turns into activism. Unlike She-Hulk, where direct jokes at trolls didn't go well, this movie did the opposite by quietly adding lots of diversity without making a big deal about it. It surprised everyone when Eternals came out in 2021, showing a big group of immortal heroes who protected Earth through time. The film looked huge and powerful at first, with amazing actors and stunning shots that made fans believe it was the start of something bold for Marvel's next chapter.
You hear that? Eternals assemble.
Soon, it became one of the most talked about Marvel movies, earning early praise for its diverse team that included a gay couple, a deaf hero, and characters from many cultures, making it feel fresh and different from the usual superhero movies. Until the reviews came, most people didn't even notice the diversity part much because it was done quietly until the full movie showed it clearly. But once it hit theaters, people started arguing about its woke parts. The movie tried to show diversity naturally, but some said it looked forced, like it was ticking boxes instead of focusing on story and emotion. Still, that wasn't the only issue. Some felt that including so many backgrounds made it feel fake, while others thought it was brave and modern, but that didn't stop the growing divide among fans. Even with the director's skill, the bad buzz didn't fade. Then, the reviews dropped hard. Critics gave it just 47%, the lowest Marvel score ever. That's when the team realized they'd messed up big time, turning what was meant to be a grand epic into a box office disappointment that showed how tricky subtle wokeness can be. And with that, fans began losing faith while the troubles kept piling up. However, one critic commented that it felt too woke with diversity and lost the Eternals spark. But that wasn't the only one. Others jumped in too. While Eternals got some hate for quietly showing diversity, Captain Marvel's story turned it up loud by shouting girl power during big cultural changes. Initially, people were surprised when Captain Marvel came out in 2019, showing Carol Danvers as a strong hero in a space war. At first, fans loved the 90s style and powerful lead, thinking it could change how female heroes were seen forever.
Lose control again. Humor is a distraction. The enemy.
The story looked solid from the start because the ads focused on her strength and confidence, quickly building a huge fan group excited to see her rise from being unsure to becoming unstoppable. Quickly, it became a big part of the Marvel story, getting praise for coming out during the Me Too time and for showing a brave woman hero who stood out from all the male ones. Many thought it would break barriers and change superhero movies forever. But then, the trouble began. The ads showed lots of power and strength, but they didn't show that some people might get upset later. The main message of women's courage was hidden under all the action and explosions. But when the movie came out, people didn't like how woke it seemed. The marketing made Carol seem like the face of women's victory, but some said it went too far, and felt more like a message than a movie, turning empowerment into something forced. Still, that wasn't the only complaint. Some people said the movie was too preachy. Many didn't realize it could make others feel like it was pushing progress too much. Even with a fun and lively direction, the anger didn't fade and started hurting the movie's image. Then, in a strange twist, the audience score dropped to just 45%, even though the movie still made $1 billion worldwide, and there, the studio saw the price they had to pay. What started as a big success turned into a divided hit, showing the bad side of trying to be woke at the wrong time. Fans soon split apart, and problems kept piling up like shields on top of each other as the drama refused to fade away.
You knew all along. Is that why we never hung out?
No, I just never liked you.
One fan even wrote, "Too much girl power, it took the fun out." But it kept going, since more echoed. Woke Marvel at its peak, ratings show the hate, and #MeToo flick that paid in backlash. In the end, Discord raged online, with critics at 79%, but the bomb highlighting divides, yet box office success couldn't erase the stain. But the damage went further as IMDb settled at 6.8 from over 600,000 reviews, proving the cost through lasting debates. But where Captain Marvel got hit with hate for trying too hard to feel powerful, this God story went even further by mixing kindness and craziness together, leaving people shocked when Thor, Love, and Thunder came out in 2022. The movie showed Thor handling love and loss in a funny adventure. At first, it looked really fun with lots of jokes and old gods coming back for a wild new story.
Of the space Viking, Thor Odinson. He was no ordinary man. He was a god.
Initially, it felt exciting because the trailers showed silly fights and touching moments that got fans hyped up for more hammer-swinging action. Soon, the movie became a big deal, earning praise for showing love in many forms, like Valkyrie being bisexual, something that made the story stand out from other superhero tales. People liked that it tried to mix humor with heart. Before it came out, most thought it would just be funny, not realizing it also had a message about being open and kind to everyone. But when it finally released, some people started focusing on the woke parts, saying it pushed gender and family diversity too much. Some thought the story tried to do everything at once, silly jokes and deep lessons, and ended up confusing. Still, others said they liked that it was brave and open-minded, but many old-school fans felt it didn't fit with the classic God-style story. Even though people liked the funny direction, the complaints didn't stop. Soon, critics gave it only 63%, and the creators realized they had messed up. And just like that, their fun idea turned into a mix of good and bad that showed how risky it is to blend serious themes with silly fun. Fans ended up saying it was a funny but woke mess that lost the thunder. But there were more complaints as people didn't like it at all. As a result, the IMDb score stayed at 6.1 from over 447,000 people, marking it as a stormy chapter in Thor's journey. While Thor's movie got blasted for its woke ideas, Batwoman went even further by adding gay politics into every superhero mission. Even though fans were excited when it aired and saw Kate Kane as Gotham's new hero, things changed quickly. It started strong, with dark city scenes and deep family drama that made it feel like a cool new twist on the Batman story.
Hello, said Alice. Shall we believe the crows will protect us?
People initially liked the mix of different races and the open gay main hero, something new for superhero TV.
Because I've just been gay forever, so it doesn't feel like I'm like doing anything gayer or more gay, less gay, more bat gay.
Many thought it could change the way superhero shows were made, but once it started airing, fans noticed how much it talked about gender and race. Some said the story focused more on politics than action. Soon, many complained that it cared more about sending messages than being fun to watch. Over time, more viewers left as the show lost its spark. And just like that, the ratings dropped hard. And after 3 seasons, it was cancelled. Apparently, the team behind it learned the hard way that mixing too much politics into a superhero story can hurt more than help. In the end, the final IMDb score stayed at 3.6 from 48,000 reviews, marking Batwoman as another woke fail in superhero TV.